Good afternoon. Welcome to First at 4, your first look at the day's headlines and stories that matter to you and your family. I'm Mindy Thomas.
And I'm Eric Sandoval.
More than a dozen people are combing through what is left of their home after a fire consumed it last night. More than 50 firefighters battled the flames that started around 7 o'clock at a home on Van Buren Street in Coachella. When they arrived on the scene, the back of the house was engulfed. The cause of the fire has not been determined. If you're registered to vote, could you be registered twice? Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia says she's found out that thousands of people have duplicate registrations and they don't even know it. Hundreds of people in the Coachella Valley are registered to vote twice. I'd like that. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
What a heavy-hitting guest, David. Way to go.
Wonderful. She's wonderful.
She feels like part of the family after seeing her on so many national news shows.
Well, she's a fantastic advocate, and there's people that criticize her, but I'll tell you something. If I were a victim, I'd be calling one number, and that'd be Gloria Allred's, because she is absolutely the best.
All right, thanks. David Walt, legal analyst for CBS 2 News.
And that his favorite movie, of course, was The Shining, where Jack Nicholson goes wild and attempts to murder his wife. And, of course, that was mentioned after he allegedly did murder his wife. So big problems right there for Scott, no doubt.
All right, David, and I certainly remember interviewing O.J., and he said his favorite movie was Kiss the Girls, so.
Boy.
And it's time now to take a look at stories making headlines around the world today. Family members confirm this afternoon that British hostage Kenneth Bigley was killed by his Iraq captors. Good afternoon. Welcome to First at 4, your first look at the day's headlines and stories that matter to you and your family. I'm Mindy Thomas.
And I'm Eric Sandoval.
Stock prices closed moderately higher on Wall Street to end the week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 7 points to 10,592. The Nasdaq Composite Index gained 4 points at 2,148, and the S&P 500 was up about 1 point at 1,191. Governor Schwarzenegger believes the minimum wage and Walmart bills would hurt the state's economy, so both of those bills are now vetoed. Or shall we say, hasta la vista, baby. Governor Schwarzenegger vetoed a bill this weekend that would have raised California's minimum wage to $7.75 an hour. For now, the hourly wage will remain at $6.75, and Guillermo Elias is concerned for his fellow Walmart employees.
That's not right, because we work hard. Like me, I'm working out here in the sun. I get paid $8. It's $1 more than they get paid inside, but they should get paid as much as me. I'm nobody special. I know I'm out here in the sun, but they should get paid $7.75.
Elias says it costs a lot just to live and pay your basic bills.
Makes me very unhappy. Makes me very unhappy. I don't think that's right. People have the right to earn a decent living, and they're not earning that today.
A recent study indicates increasing minimum wage would eliminate more than 18,000 jobs, which is not what state leadership has in mind. Governor Schwarzenegger says, quote, "Now is not the time to create barriers to our economic recovery or reverse the momentum we have generated. I want to create more jobs and make every California job more secure," end quote.
Back in 1990, I was paying $6 an hour sometimes to people who didn't even speak English, who were not terribly skilled, but who were willing to care for people and do a good job of it. And if they were willing to do that, I felt they were worth $6 an hour then, so surely they're worth $8 an hour now.
The governor also rejected a bill that would require large retailers to propose an economic impact report before local governments would approve the new superstores like Walmart. He says they can already make that decision, and the governor cannot support retailers having to overcome the costly hurdles this could create. Another bill the governor has also turned down, a measure limiting random drug testing of students. He says drug testing policy should be left up to local schools. Hundreds of people in the Coachella Valley are registered to vote, not once, but twice, which is documented in this official file. Not only is that illegal, according to the county registrar, that could throw off the upcoming elections.
California Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia is on a mission.
Assemblywoman Bonnie Garcia's plea to state leaders for a fair election is gaining national attention. Garcia says thousands of people in her district are registered to vote twice, so they could vote absentee and then cast another ballot on Election Day.
If you look at the raw data, you wouldn't find it, but if you sorted it by birthdays, you would see that there were 2 or 3 people living in a household with similar names, same exact birthday, sometimes registered to vote in different parties.
That could happen. She says she found more duplicates with Republicans than Democrats in the file, so she says it's not a partisan issue for her. It's a problem for voters that needs to be resolved, so she went straight to the top with a complaint.
I believe it's incumbent upon our Secretary of State to have a uniform standard for all of the registrars so that we have clear direction across California to prevent us from falling into the same Florida fiasco.
We hear every year that every vote counts, but the Riverside County Registrar says if someone votes twice, neither vote will count. They will need to give an explanation for the extra vote, and they can be prosecuted.
Live in Thousand Palms tonight, Mindy.
Eric, authorities were out here earlier and they removed this dumpster, and the reason is a suspect apparently tried to dump something into that dumpster earlier today. Witnesses say they saw bloodstains, and apparently the suspect was trying to dump someone. Excuse me, ma'am, can you tell us what happened this morning? A weeping neighbor knew the young man who was gunned down in Thermal this morning. Authorities say the victim may still be alive, but they don't know for sure because he was put in the back of a pickup truck and taken away. 3 hours later, a witness saw a man, possibly the suspect, near a dumpster in Thousand Palms.
They thought there was somebody dumping trash in their dumpsters, or some dumpsters back in there, so they ended up looking and saw some suspicious activity going on, and then called 911.
Flores was driving a white 1993 Ford pickup truck. The witness was smart enough to write down the license plate to protect their business from illegal dumping.
The information that we received is the truck that left here with someone in the bed of it, and we obtained that license number, and in Thousand Palms, the same description of a vehicle with the same license number was seen near a dumpster.
Authorities say there are bloodstains inside of the dumpster, but there's no body. The alleged victim, Alfonso Ramos, moved here about 3 weeks ago in Thermal.
There were a little conflict between each other because of the girlfriend. I think this is all about what's all about the commotion was.
Neighbors say they knew Flores had a temper and that he'd been in and out of jail.
I know the son of a all right. He can do that and more.
Now again, police need your help in finding 49-year-old Stephen Flores. They say he was driving a 1993 white Ford pickup truck with the California license plate 6R87441. And if you have any information on this, if you have seen him, if you have seen the truck, and if you know anything about this investigation, please contact authorities.
Live from Palm Springs, Mindy?
Georgette, many witnesses say they've never seen or heard of a car flying through the air and landing on the top of a house. But that's exactly what happened here in this Palm Springs neighborhood overnight. Now his best friend says the driver of that car may never walk again.
Doctor said he was paralyzed. The wall just collapsed. Nothing to do.
18-year-old Vahe Esegolian drove into Palm Springs from Glendale to have one last night of fun during his spring break. But his best friend says now he's dealing with the results of a wild night of drinking and driving.
The doctor comes in, he tells his uncle that the dad's sister's kid, Vahe, he's paralyzed. He's not going to walk. All they do is they could fix his spine. That's all they could do.
Neighbors say 2 cars were racing up this street directly toward this house when one of them hit a car, soared on top of this roof, hit the palm tree, and landed on the roof of a house at the back of this driveway.
Plus, we'll go to Paris, California for the skydiving nationals. Our very own Mindy Thomas also made the jump of a lifetime.